know, sometimes journalism becomes, well, an admiration society for other members of the profession. And sometimes it's a cause for saluting our leaders. This interview is a case for both points. Our next guest, Eric Jansen, my compatriot, host of the longest-running LGBT radio show in California, Out in the Bay.
Thank you, David.
Congratulations on your 10th anniversary.
Indeed. It's been a long road, but it's been a fun road for the most part.
Yeah, and we've got here a Senate proclamation, if I may read it. Congratulations on the occasion of your 10th anniversary. For the past decade, Out in the Bay has been an important voice within the journalism community for the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and intersex people of the Bay Area. This weekly radio show provides a platform to share the oral history of queer life and offer audiences an opportunity to hear compelling interviews and learn about issues affecting our daily lives. Congratulations, Senator Mark Leno, 11th District.
Yes, I was so pleased to get that. And I was even almost more pleased is that he called me, actually, personally on his cell phone and told me that he listens sometimes on his way back home to San Francisco from Sacramento on Thursday nights.
See, I'm kind of jealous of you because you have the advantage. I'm on TV, which everyone thinks is great, but no one can, like, listen to me in their car. That's
true.
Where you get real listenership, you know? I mean, maybe once they have the self-driving car, they'll be like 10% up on the visor. I don't know. But I got 5 years to catch up. I've been on 5 years.
Okay. Congrats.
And certainly one of the things that we both know is the stories you get across the interview table, whether it's in front of a camera or a microphone, sometimes really amaze and move you. What are some of the most moving, surprising interviews you've done in 10 years?
Well, there's a couple. One, what I'd say, Judy Shepard, Matthew Shepard's mother, came in to talk with us a few years ago.
And Matthew Shepard, the teen that was killed for being gay and hung out on the rails in
Wyoming. Right,
yeah.
Laramie, Wyoming. She came to talk to us. She'd just written a book about her experience. And she said in the book that she has always been leery about the media. She doesn't trust them. She felt manipulated when, you know, they wanted her to cry and stuff like that. And but she told some stories about, in the book and on our interview, about how he wasn't exactly this angel that everybody made him out to be. He was a normal person with his problems that you know, we all have. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he wasn't, she just wanted him to be a real person.
Right. Is that something you think you brought out in her? I mean, you were a reporter. I remember when you were with KQED before you had Out in the Bay. Do you think it's something about you that makes guests comfortable?
I hope so. I think that I make people comfortable and I'm someone they can just talk to. I also think that radio is a medium where there aren't cameras there.
Yeah.
And so people don't have that. People are a little bit more free to talk. They don't feel like they're being looked at quite as much. It's a more intimate medium. Mm-hmm. But also, we had a half an hour. And that's one of the beauties of our show that I love. She was on other programs, and, you know, in 5 minutes or right. 2.5 minutes,
which is a long time in radio.
In television, yes, it's a very long time in television. They're expected to you know, pour out her heart in, you know, in 3-second sound bites, which, you know, is just an unrealistic expectation. How
has radio changed since you got into the business back? How many years ago did you start with KQED?
Let's see, that must have been in 1980, late 80s, 87, I believe it was. Yeah.
What are the changes that have impacted you directly? The things that sometimes you go, wow, that's not how we used to do it. And I don't know if it's better or worse now or not.
I suppose that there have been changes in the terms of how short and the length of segments, and a push for making sure that things can be on internet as well as on the air, and that makes a difference. But overall, I think that public radio, at least, has not changed. I don't feel it's changed that much. That's one of the areas where we're still allowed to give time to a story and, you know, let it flesh out. Yeah, I mean, you know, print sometimes has seemingly abandoned the long form, but in radio and your show Out in the Bay, you get the long form. Now, there are two of you, you and your co-host Marilyn Pittman. So we've got a trained radio journalist and a stand-up lesbian comic. How did that duo get together? Well, now, she does have a little bit of journalism experience, too, but she was actually an engineer at KQED when I first met her, and she was also a stand-up comic. So when we took the show to KALW, the station manager at the time said, it'd be really great if you had a female co-host.
So Regis and Kathy Lee.
I might possibly have, and Marilyn was good. And we've actually done very few shows together. We usually alternate hosting the show. Occasionally we do shows together. And on April 29th at our 10th anniversary party, we will be taping a show live in front of a live audience, which is the first time we've ever done that.
So tell me about that. Who's going to be on?
Unless you don't want to. No, it's going to be the two of us, and we're going to do a sort of a retrospective, playing some of the clips from our favorites of our 10-year years on the air. You asked a minute ago about Judy Shepard, so we'll probably play a little bit of tape from that. We're not sure exactly how it's going to be structured, but, you know, Ang Lee, for example. I interviewed Ang Lee shortly after Brokeback Mountain, excuse me, shortly before it came out, but I'd seen the movie. And then later when he did Making Woodstock. And I asked him about why so many of his movies have gay themes, because the Wedding Banquet as well had a gay sub-theme in it. And he said, well, maybe I'm gay. And and it wasn't a flip answer. It's the thing that I think that people think that, oh, and I actually looked on the line when I was writing the news release about this, you can't say, oh, he's not gay. Oh, people wonder if Ang Lee's gay. He's not gay. He's married and he has children. Well, a lot of people were married and had children and aren't gay. Yeah. And I think that he is in a position that he has the freedom to say, look, there's something about these stories that resonate with me. Right. And so maybe I'm gay. But he doesn't mean, oh, yeah, I'm gay and I'm coming out of the closet.
Right, right. And we only have a few moments left, but I'd like to ask you if you consider yourself now, after 10 years doing this, more of a journalist, or do you consider this a form of activism? And do we still need gay activism in 2015?
Wow, that's a lot than for a short answer. I do think we still need activism because as far as we've come, there are still problems. I mean, you know, just last year, a trans kid was, you know, attacked in the East Bay. Those killings happen across the country. So that is still needed. I think you can be a journalist and an activist both. I think to be a journalist and say that you don't have an opinion is
disingenuous. So you're not afraid of interjecting your opinion into your shows?
No, I do. I do, and I don't have a problem with that. So can I give a plug for the show?
Of course you may.
Come on down to, if you see this before Wednesday, April 29th, because this is airing in midweek, come on down to Oasis Nightclub and Cabaret, 11th and Folsom, from 5 to 8 p.m. on Wednesday the 29th. We'll be having a party and having a live tape.
Or tune in every week to 91.7 FM KALW.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We've been speaking with Eric Jansen. Congratulations, by the way. I'm David Perry. Watch me as well as listen every week right here on 10%.